Hey, welcome to Stump the Idiot. I am the huge one, aka the idiot, Dave Coco from CocoSports.com, KOCOSports.net. It takes you to the same place. It's where the world comes to kick ass, your home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. I'm answering real questions from real members of the Internet Infantry. Thank you, John Green, for letting me bite on your line. So this is our pro wrestling Q&A show, and joining me today is Franielli's favorite host, Rob. Rob, welcome back, man.
I can't take this shit. I'm out of here. Do the show without me.
Would you really do that to Franielli on his birthday?
I did it to Franielli on Fastlane. I got some mean messages from people. People weren't happy that I didn't show up after Fastlane. You hyped me up apparently a lot, and I didn't know that.
Well, you know, you let down the audience. All right, well, this is Stump the Idiot, the least watched show on YouTube. So feel free to relax, kick back. Here we go. We got a question from Lennox Wooderson, a high-ranking member of the Internet Infantry. Do you think Brock Lesnar walked out on Raw because of Reigns' push? There was rumors about that earlier in the week. We will hit all the Brock Lesnar rumors. The only thing that is somewhat factual is Brock Lesnar was supposed to appear on Raw, and he walked out. There was early in the week rumors that it was because Roman Reigns took performance-enhancing drugs, didn't pass a drug test. I don't picture Brock giving a shit about that. And I don't see Brock. I see him as a paid assassin. He doesn't give a shit who he has to put over. Just pay him. There was also rumors out there. We're going to hit a lot of Brock Lesnar rumors tonight because this was the most asked question a bunch about Brock Lesnar. There was also rumors about that he wanted to be WWE and UFC. And then the last statement that I heard, I know Rob has been keeping up with the rumors a lot better than I have, is that he's going to do his last payday, so he's not in a breach of contract, and then he's headed back to the UFC, allegedly. So there's so many rumors going around Brock Lesnar, and maybe this is just hype for a real shitty pay-per-view. You always have to put in that they're working you. You know, for a company that works us so much, you think the product would be better. Like David Copperfield, when I sit down and watch a David Copperfield show, a magician show, I'm worked. I'm like, holy shit, are they really there? Are you really doing that? You know, and it's enjoyable. For a company that's, they're working you, brother, they're working you, you think they would be more entertained. You know what I mean? Like, I understand you want to work us and trick us, but at the end of the day, isn't it your priority to entertain us?
Yeah.
Like, I love people like that say that they're working you, and it's always the shittiest of fucking products. Like, CM Punk walking out, and you're never going to see your favorite wrestler again. They're working you, brother. Yeah, but...
I think CM Punk ended that for a lot of people, though. A lot of people were like, wait a second. Now, these aren't works. They really suck.
Yeah. So, Brock Lesnar, hopefully he returns to the UFC. I don't know. I don't hate Brock Lesnar like Boom Boom does or other people does. I'm a big fan of Brock Lesnar. I'd like to see him in UFC. I'd love to see him do both, WWE and UFC. I know in TNA, their champion, Bobby Lashley, has done that. And it would be kind of cool. Not only that, but like, just to walk to the ring with the WWE Championship against Frank Mir. You don't understand. Like, in Japan, people are fucking normal. And if you can like MMA and pro wrestling, and no one is gonna fucking die. In America, you could just imagine, like, I just picture, like, all these guys that bought all their fucking tap-out affliction shirts, and they got their blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and Brock Lesnar walks to the ring in or octagon, my apologies, walks to the octagon holding up the WWE Championship. I just see tears coming out and be like, this, my martial arts mean nothing! I just... Oh man, I love mixed martial. I love mixed martial arts, and I love pro wrestling. But the way that Western culture treats pro wrestling, if you're an MMA fan, is fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm so happy I live in Japan. Like, there's a lot of benefits to living in Japan. but one of the benefits of living in Japan is, dude, I can be like, I like sumo, I like judo, I like MMA, I like kickboxing, I love pro wrestling, without the other person acting like I raped their mother. Like, it's a nice feeling. It's a really nice feeling.
I wouldn't know that feeling.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. Could you imagine just going, hey, I like the UFC and WWE, and the person not flipping the fuck out like everything he's ever accomplished in life is being taken away from him?
It's only UFC fans, though, that do that.
Oh, dude, they're the fucking worst. And not only, but, like, you'd think, like, oh, wow, you're a respectable athlete. You wouldn't fucking break down and cry. You're a warrior. Dude, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, sometimes they'll be like, why? How could you like pro wrestling and mixed martial arts? And it's so funny, too, because you could be like, I like mixed martial arts in super comic books. Okay. I like mixed martial arts in video games. Okay. I like mixed martial arts and shoving large pieces of furniture up my ass. Okay. I like mixed martial arts and pro wrestling. How could you? How? I thought you were going to be friends.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes like that.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter. But anyway, Brock Lesnar, the rumors are about maybe they are just trying to get interest into the possibly shittiest booked WrestleMania ever.
Well, yeah, some people say that it's that they just want to try and get more buzz on Lesnar's last appearance, quote unquote. But Meltzer was the first one to, like, really have a reliable report on the walkout, and he just said that, like, people were screaming and Vince and Brock were yelling at each other, and that it was enough that they were worried about it and thought that Vince might be in danger.
Yeah.
And, like, apparently Meltzer came out later on The Observer and was like, yeah, just so you guys know, they also apparently the writers approached Vince and offered him to ask, like, hey, do we need to write another story for WrestleMania, like a backup, just in case? And Vince told him no, that he'd just sue Lesnar if he didn't show up.
Yeah.
But
it's just, dude, it's time for Vince to go away.
Apparently, though, they, according to Mets fan, forever, like, popular.
Yeah. This is an insider that goes on Reddit and gets pretty much a lot of shit correct.
Mm-hmm. He has a very high success rate. He does get shit wrong, but he's more consistent than probably any other rumor source.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing that fucking I hate, because, hashtag, dirt sheet, hashtag thanks IWC. Listen, I admit it's almost impossible to cover pro wrestling, because it's not a legit sport. You know what I mean? It's not a legit entertainment. You could have someone lie to you and report it. Like, I think people either put way too much stock into internet reports, or they fucking brush it off like it's no problem. And it's like, imagine, just think about the industry. You are trying to get stuff that they don't want leaked out, right? And they could change it at any moment. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I always find it funny, like, how pro wrestling news reporters are held to a higher standard than CNN, Brian Williams, and the rest of the fucking gang on news.
And Bill O'Reilly.
Like, it always cracks me up because, like, you'll go on Facebook and be like, LOL, Meltzer got it wrong. LOL, dirt sheet, you fucking retards. And then they'll put, like, lie after lie just fed to them on CNN. And I'm like, now listen, pro wrestling's supposed to be entertaining and fun, and it's got to be hard to cover and get the scoops and the inside information.
Well, not only that, but, like, think about it. With rumors in wrestling, once that rumor's out there, they can see it too, and they can change course.
Yeah. And so it's a very interesting thing. And I always find it funny that some people hold the internet to such a high standard of reporting, or they hold it to such a high standard that everything they read is true. And it's just like, even if you work in the real news industry, and that's not a knock on pro wrestling, and it's not a knock on internet reporters, it's just, you realize, be a news producer for one day. Go be a news reporter. Be a news anchor. You'll realize how much this shit is just thrown together last second, and people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, if you think the national news is accurate, work for them. Just for a day. And you'll be like, holy shit, they make up a lot of shit on the fly. A lot of shit. And it's so funny because they're like, I can't believe Brian Williams lied. I'm like, are you fucking out of your mind? They're all lying. Does anyone fact check anything?
I
No.
can't believe they did this.
No, because what they do? They go, oh, they're saying what I want them to hear, and that's how they get ratings. Well, obviously, they have to do that. Why do you think that?
Well, no, the Lesnar thing is way more interesting though than just that rumor. You know that, right? Like,
oh, well, let's go into more details. What else have you heard?
well, what Mets fans said was basically that the argument was Brock approached Vince about wanting to go to the UFC show so that he could talk to them about possible contract deals, and Vince lost his shit. And they started arguing because Vince told him no, shut it down, and
but remember, UFC
shit and walked out.
UFC is not direct competition. That's why they tried to sue CM Punk. That's why they tried to fucking sue Albert Del Rio. That's why they're adding it to their contracts. That's why Vince McMahon is flipping the fuck out. Because, I don't fucking get it. I don't, I make fun of MMA fans that hate pro wrestling so much. But Vince McMahon is like the opposite. He's like, the UFC is not competition. Then you don't mind if I fight over there. How fucking dare you?
It's true though. That's how he acts.
Yeah, he's just.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good for WWE if this isn't a work. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's the possibility that Lesnar just did it just to show Vince, hey, they're a very serious offer on the other table. But I mean, he sat with Fertitta and Dana White. He sat with them.
There was pictures. You can see it on the Coco Sports.
UFC showed him on camera. They showed him as former UFC champion, not WWE champion.
Dude, the best part is, in the big picture, Dana White is just counting money. He's like, oh man, Brock will sell pay-per-views because he's like the king of pay-per-views of all combat sports. Minus a couple big-time celebrities. And fighting celebrities. But he's like up there as far as pay-per-view buys go. And he's just like, fucking, the cash cow has come home. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's just, man. And Vince is like, losing his shit. Oh, man. I don't know.
The thing is, though, like, he might have just went there just to send a clear message to Vince of, you don't control me, I can do this. But the thing is, I can seriously see, like, a lot of people are saying, like, they'd love to see Lesnar just go out there and just beat the shit out of Reigns, like, legit. But he'd get sued if he did something like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The only way he could do something is, I could see it. We all know Lesnar puts on a shit match when he's not really into it. We've seen it before.
Yeah, Goldberg.
And this is right now building up to be Goldberg-Lesnar 2.0.
And none of that, but they put, oh my god. I don't know, it's just the perfect storm of fucking falling apart. And, oh man, it's so funny.
It's ridiculous though, because like right now, there's a legitimate possibility that Lesnar could go out to the ring and just wrestle like shit with Reigns, and if Reigns, because everyone knows the real rumor with the Shield guys openly have said that Punk taught them to work stiff at the start. Punk even said it. That he told them to work stiff at the start when they were first coming into the main roster. If guys were no-selling them or anything like that, to work stiff to force them to sell. If Reigns was stupid enough to try to work stiff on Brock when Brock was like being pissed off and being like, I'm not really going to do much in this match to get it over with, I could see Brock actually beating the shit out of him.
I know that, but Roman Reigns is doing such a fucking horrible fucking oh, dude, it's just, it could, dude, you know what it is? As a pro wrestling fan, it feels good that the king, it has to eat shit. You know what I mean? It fucking feels good. I know WWE defenders out there will be like, oh, praise the king. But, when you go publicly and you say at a Stockholm meeting that the fans basically don't fucking matter, as a pro wrestling fan, it makes me feel good. And maybe, maybe they're trying to build up drama and all that shit, but here it is. They're working you, brother. At the end of the day, the product sucks. You know what I mean? Like you can. It's kind of like I used to before I had injuries, and I still do it a little bit, but not as much. I used to work as marketing, and there's a saying: if your product sucks, it doesn't matter what you market. You could have the best marketing in the world. Well, you could work us, brother, and they're working you. But at the end of the day, if your product sucks, who are you really fucking working? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, what I'm wanting to see is what happens tomorrow on Raw. For once, I'm actually excited to see Raw, but it's not because of anything on Raw. It's because of backstage politics. I just want to see if they try and reschedule his appearance from last Monday to Monday night, just to try and get him to come back to calm down fans about him leaving.
I don't know. I don't see it, but like again, I don't see
Vince kissing enough ass to make it happen.
31. There's nothing I give a shit about. Like if it wasn't for this podcast, I wouldn't fucking be watching this shit. I'd still be watching Lucha Underground. I'd still be watching NXT. I'd still be watching New Japan. I'm about to watch Ring of Honor. No spoilers, please, even though I already fucking saw the spoilers. Damn you, Internet. It's so funny. When you're looking for information, it's hard to find. But the second you're like, man, I'm not going to watch that live. I'm going to watch that later tonight. Then the information just shoots into your fucking eyeballs like poison darts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Ring of Honor. But yeah, I kid you not, YouTube comes by, takes away my channel. I decide, hey, you know what? Fuck doing Raw reviews. If it wasn't for this podcast and saying, hey, I'm going to do it daily, or I don't think I would watch this product. I don't. Like, people all the time are like, oh, I don't watch it. And that's the thing where, like, people are not honest. Like, some people are like, it's not that bad. They make the most money. It's like, dude.
No, dude, if WWE got me to not even watch...
And you're supposed to be the positive PD one.
Like, I'm the most positive fucking... I will fucking hype up someone. You have to give me something to work with.
Yeah.
Like, you're giving me nothing. I do want to say, though, what do you think about Heyman's promo on Raw? Do you think that it was a case of Heyman was doing that to try and sell Reigns, or do you think he was being so over the top to be as sarcastic as possible and get away with it?
That's what we started doing.
So over the top that it has, like, that promo made Reigns look so bad because he's just so over the top with it.
Yeah, well, the whole thing's been over the top. Like, this whole week, every time I mention Roman Reigns,
Daniel Bryan.
We've just been completely fucking being over the top sarcastic. Because, like, what else are you supposed to do? I mean, It's got to the point where, like, okay, we want to do a podcast, we want to be honest, but we have to have fun and try to make a little bit of funnies, a little bit of funnies here and there. And it's got to the point where,
no one wants to watch 5 hours a week.
What are you supposed to do except be so over the top, over exaggerated? You know what I mean? Like, what else are you supposed to do at Roman Reigns? Like some people on the internet infantry, our viewers, are like, oh, you shouldn't fucking make fun of Roman Reigns that much because it gets annoying. Well, what else are we supposed to do? Like, they left us nothing. Being the Stephen Colbert of Roman Reigns is all we got left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all. All right, let's knock out some more questions. Carlos, I answered this at TNA, and he asked, is Lashley versus MVP, last week's Impact, you can watch the review on our channel, is going to be a major, is this the first time that two African-American wrestlers went for a major title? And I don't know because I have a bad memory, and I asked Wrestling Ranted, and it was awkward because I had to explain to him I'm going to him because he's a historian and not because he's black. It was an awkward conversation. I said, has there ever been, a black #1 contender and a black champion going at it, for a major title? And he's really into the history stuff. Go check out Wrestling Ranton's channel. He breaks down retrospects, and it's really good. I really do enjoy it. And I asked him, and he said the only one he could think of was JYD held 4 championships back in the territory days against Butch Reed. So I'm surprised, the Lashley MVP thing wasn't a bigger deal than what it was. And I guess the fact that it wasn't that big a deal means that, maybe we've moved on as a society and a wrestling society. But the stats are just staggering, and maybe there's one out there that people know about. But yeah, Junkyard Dog and Butch Reed during the territory days. But then, do you consider that to be a major title? Some people would say no. Some people say yes. Daniel Adderall says, have you heard that Undertaker won't appear until Mania? That's what we've read. How would you book him and his Wyatt feud? You know what? I'm going to hot tag you on this one. This has Rob written all over it.
It makes it really difficult without ever having him appear until Mania, but I get what they're doing. They want to make sure that as many people as possible watch Mania just for their one chance to see Undertaker, because everyone knows there are a limited number of appearances left for the Undertaker. Like, it's not contractually. We just all know at this point he is winding down. It's hard to book him up until that point, and we're fortunate at least Wyatt can do good promos, and he's gotten better about not doing the same one over and over anymore. I think the best thing to do is you just have to keep it on Raws, unfortunately, for the actual Undertaker interaction parts. But it has to be supernatural things.
Yeah.
Like you have to do something like lightning bolts and shit. Like, it has to be a supernatural reaction that's unexplained, that you can clearly point toward the Undertaker for it.
Yeah, when it comes to Undertaker, I have a flaw in booking his style of matches, and the reason why is I know there's fans out there that love it. I just don't enjoy this aspect. I don't like the Bray Wyatt. I don't like the Undertaker Kane type characters.
Actually,
it's
do you know
just,
what
it's
I would
just not
do?
my style. I don't really enjoy it. But with that said, I think, in WWE's defense, not having him appear until Mania is that he's old as shit, and it might be depressing seeing him. You know what I mean? Like, if you have Undertaker the image, you're like, ooh, Undertaker WrestleMania, the image in your head. But then you have some fucking old man that looks like Doc. That takes the image away. But once it's pay-per-view time, you're like, oh, fuck it. Well, Undertaker's old. Fuck it, we're already here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as that, and now granted,
You know what would actually
I've read
work?
this online, so this ain't my idea, but I kind of like, I just go with that. I think they're making it where Bray Wyatt keeps, and this is how I would book it if I was in this situation. So sometimes, even though I despise WWE, sometimes
You know what? I just came up with the idea.
Bray Wyatt will keep, calling him out, and then it will be a mystery if he shows up. And then Bray Wyatt's in the ring, great entrance, because you can imagine these two guys will have some crazy entrances, Great entrance for Bray Wyatt, and then Undertaker is supposed to come out to the ring, and he doesn't come out right away. And then, they play his music twice, because, you got to stall, because the match isn't going to be that good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I play the music twice, he doesn't come out. Then I would have this huge entrance where it's a casket, and then the casket is empty, and then it's like, because we're playing in a supernatural world. And then Bray Wyatt, I wouldn't sell him being scared. Too many people just sell, it's an empty casket, way too much.
No, he needs to be excited.
So I would have it where, excited, but then I would have it where the lights go out, and he appears from behind, and that starts the match. So that's how I would book it, but at the same time, this ain't really my style. I would just, if I was in charge of creative, I'd just hand it to someone else and not give a shit. Go ahead.
You're not as big into the supernatural, but while you're talking, I had an idea. They don't want to show Taker, and I thought about the reasons you said, and I was like, you know what they could do, though, is, and you'll hate it, because I know you hate seeing Kane wrestle, but damn it, he's useful right now, and it's either this or we get to see him watch him wrestle like fucking Ryback again. So what I would do is I would have Bray keep doing these promos and have it seem like Taker's just ignoring him. And then I would have the go-home show for WrestleMania. What I would do instead is I would actually have Kane get attacked near the start of the show. Like, Kane's just missing, his locker room's destroyed, and you can see the broken case in the back. And then later I would cut to a camera segment in the show. I would say about midway into the show, about the halfway point, I'd cut to a camera segment in the back section. I would personally go for like a boiler room type feel, call back to the old Kane. And I would have him come out in the full old Kane attire and everything, just to be clear. But I would have it basically be, you see Kane unconscious, and you in the old attire, and you see Taker's hand putting Kane's mask back onto Kane, and then Kane's like sitting up and walking off, and that's it. That's all you see of Taker is his arm go out.
And it don't even have to be the real Taker arm.
Yeah, you just need someone to wear it, which is why it's great. So you get Taker's arm, he puts the mask on, and then you see Kane walk out. And then you have Wyatt do another promo on Kane later on in the show. And I would actually do this probably I would say about 2/3 of the way through the show. Maybe I might even make it main event, honestly, because I wouldn't make Roman your main event right now. It's not a good idea.
I don't think they have a good main event. I think people fucking are bored as shit.
For Raw, what I would do though is I would do all that, and then the main event of Raw would be Wyatt's out there cutting a promo on Undertaker, and Kane comes straight out and just Kane and him brawl, and it's a pull apart brawl, and then WrestleMania. You go into it with is Kane going to show? Is Undertaker ever going to show? Or is he just sent Kane in to fight for him? Kane and Bray in a coffin match. Bray squashes Kane. It has to be a squash. It has to be very quick. Bray squashes Kane, puts Kane into the casket, and the lights shut off, the lightning happens, and then the lights are completely dark again. You use that time while people are like, what the fuck's going on? To quickly have Kane get out of the casket, go into the ring, have Undertaker come out of the ring, get into the casket, and then you have the Taker's music start playing and his entrance start going with the lights low and the smoke fill, and then you have him kick the casket open and get out of the casket and climb into the ring for their match.
Gotcha. See, that's amazing, but I don't give a shit about that style of wrestling. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, but that's how that style of wrestling.
I know, you also got Kane. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next question. Mr. Jason 916 says, if you had to manage or promote an old-time wrestler from the 50s to the 90s, who would it be? Well, promoting and managing is two different things, but we'll go manager. First off, much respect to managers because they have a pretty hard gig. You know what I'm saying? And it's not as easy. And it's a dying art. But as far as 50s and 90s go, I would, and granted he's my favorite wrestler of all time, I would go Great Muta. Because he came out during that time, and Great Muta has always reinvented himself from the White Ninja to Muta to get, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he represented a whole country, and you could be a voice of that. And I don't know about you, but now with the internet, and I don't mean it like that, such a harsh tone. It's just people fucking hate the internet for some reason. Mm-hmm. It's okay. I love the internet. But with the internet, yeah, you get to see New Japan World. You get to see all this access. Great Muta in Japan when we were kids, and he first appeared on the screen. That was like the world wasn't as flat as some would say. That was like such a big deal. And then the fact that he was doing X Division moves back before anyone even knew what the fuck was going on, I don't know. I would have loved to been the Great Muta's manager, mouthpiece, because not only that, but he needed one. So it's not like, because like the thing is, Bobby the Brain Heenan was a great manager, but there were some people that Bobby the Brain Heenan was a part of that didn't need managing. Like Rick Rude didn't need a mouthpiece. There's a lot of guys that don't need mouthpieces. So if I was a manager, I would want to be a manager of someone that really needed it. Because nothing pisses me off, especially on the indies, where someone's a manager. I'm going to hurt a lot of my friends' feelings. Someone's a manager, and they're getting this clique together and all the wrestlers can cut promos. You're pretty much a worthless bag of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Managers should go with people that can't speak. And, Muta, he can speak a little bit of English, but no, he needs a manager. And that's who I would pick if I had to pick one. Of course, being New Jersey, I would love to have a New Jersey band, Bon Jovi. No, I'm just kidding. A New Jersey tag team of King Kong Bundy and Bam Bam Bigelow. But that's just me being greedy. But if I had to be a manager of someone through the 50s and 90s, it would definitely be the Great Muta.
All right, I'm interpreting it as any wrestler who existed during the 50s to the 90s. Mine I don't think is as obvious. I would actually go with Randy Orton. Because I personally think Randy Orton is technically a really, really strong wrestler. I think he has good ring psychology. I think he works the crowd phenomenally. And I think the same of John Cena as far as working the crowd. They do the crowd really, really well, which is
I'm starting to get sick.
Which is, in my opinion, why they're main eventers. They are very good at working the crowd during a match. I think Orton could be great if you had given him a manager who could talk on the mic, that could talk for him, and he just did occasional things, just occasional promos. Because his whole flaw has always been he stares. All right, he likes to stare creepy at the thing. That's perfect time for a manager to talk. He could stare creepy for 3 minutes a show.
I think the biggest problem, I hate Randy Orton and John Cena, and I just want to be clear about that. But first off, going into WrestleMania 31, who's not happier than John Cena? You know, he's just back there with a big grin and be like, "You see this shit?"
Yeah.
You know, John Cena's got to be happier than fucking a pig in a blanket, whatever the fuck that means. But no one's got a bigger smile right now than John Cena.
Especially with the fact that now Smarks are starting to support John Cena because he's been openly supporting.
They book him good. John Cena's biggest flaw is now Roman Reigns' biggest flaw. You have to be human. You have to be human. And against Rusev, someone called that a year ago. Giving myself a Barry Horowitz. But, you know, if your heroes are not human, they're not fucking heroes. You know what I mean? But now, John Cena is humble. He's not on top. Like, yeah, and that's the problem. WWE, and we talked about this on a podcast, WWE's major problem, they have no idea how to book a hero.
Hold on, I just want to say, I think you're wrong. I think WWE, in this last year of me watching wrestling, Vince McMahon has shown me that he can make me hate someone more than I've ever hated someone before, and then within a year's time, he can make me cheer for that person as the face. He took Brock Lesnar killing the streak as being this huge heel, which going into this pay-per-view right now, Brock Lesnar's going to get cheered.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
he is the face.
But that's not the point. The point is he's failing at what he's doing. But all right,
he's so bad that he's genius.
It's a big work. We want the guy that's supposed to be the golden boy, the cornerstone of our company, to look stupid, and the guy who's going to make Dana White millions, we got to make him look strong. Maybe Vince McMahon. You remember when the NWO came? I don't know if you were watching that because you took a break from pro wrestling. But there was a thing where the NWO invaded, not the NWO Prime, but NWO invaded WWE. And
that must have been terrible.
It was like, I'm gonna poison and destroy my own company. Like, he cuts this promo that he uses the NWO to destroy WWE. I just see that clip, and I think that's his real life now. I think he's like, I'm gonna destroy the WWE. But yeah,
like he got so into that promo, it became who he is.
Yeah.
Working the long game to end it.
Oh man.
Okay, all those rumors aside, it is at least there's optimism as a wrestling fan in general.
No. Explain the optimism, because the only optimism I have is that WrestleMania is almost over.
Yes. No, I don't mean the optimism for WWE. I mean the optimism for the fact that ROH just put on a show that Dave and I are going to watch later, and I'll review it with Dave if he waits for me, but he'll probably review it without me.
I'll probably do it either. I'll save it for you just because I'm
ROH just had their big show, and
I think it's their second biggest.
Yeah, they just had one of their big shows in Vegas. They also announced, which is the trio tournament thing. Is that their big show?
No, I don't know.
They announced the Young Bucks and AJ Styles are the first.
No, usually I don't know. They have a couple big shows. I think the year-end show is really big, and I think the WrestleMania weekend show is really big. Mm-hmm. But obviously the anniversary show is a big deal, so it really just depends. But usually I get pumped up for Ring of Honor, WrestleMania weekend, and I get pumped up for Ring of Honor the last show of the year. I think they do a really good job of pumping those two up. So I think those two would probably be the main ones. But the anniversary show ranks up there pretty well.
They just had a really good show, right? They just had a great show in America. And rumors are that ROH, it was either ROH or New Japan, I'm pretty sure it was ROH, though, is in talks with, I believe it was Spike TV to try and get a deal.
Well, and so is Global Force. A lot of rumors for Spike TV.
But if ROH gets a TV deal, that's huge. because then
Well,
you
they
have
do have a TV
ROH
deal, and they're owned
in
by
the
a
US.
TV. Hold on,
up in
that's
the
a
US.
fast, my fellow friend. They do have a TV deal, and they also New Japan. I'm talking about
In
Ring of Honor right
US?
now. It's getting confusing. Ring of Honor has a television deal, and they're actually owned by a TV company. It's just the shittiest television deal and television company ever, and they actually refuse to give it
Oh
more
wait,
money.
they're owned by Sinclair, aren't they?
Yeah, and then New Japan is on Access TV, and they have the New Japan Network. And
But is that
Global
in
Force,
English or is that also Japanese?
the one on Access TV is in English, but the
Okay.
matches are very old. Like it's
Oh, okay.
2 years old. But if you're a new fan, you don't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And New Japan World is the WWE Network, only it's all Japan stuff. And
See, I don't
right
think the
now-
Japan thing works until you have it so that they're on the same pace, and you have. Honestly, I would think it was hilarious if they did a Spanish announce team for an English announce team there, and that table was the one that got destroyed all the time. I, as a fan, would think that was hilarious.
Yeah, well, hopefully they talk about it, and they're moving along slowly. But the problem with New Japan is, and I don't know if it's a problem, they have a base that all their money comes from, and they're number one in Japan, and they make good money there. So, like, they want to expand, but they also don't want to fail. So
Yeah,
it
they don't
seems
want
like
to. They don't want to
tiptoe
forfeit the
too
market
much.
control they have there.
Yeah, and yeah. So I think it's there, and they
Okay,
keep talking
so-
about improving in it.
But
All
if
right.
ROH got a Spike TV deal, that's huge exposure. Spike TV deal is what basically helped UFC explode.
Yeah.
The Spike TV reality show mixed with the Spike TV aired finales for the fight nights. That was what got tons of people into UFC. Was that
Well,
it
I
made
mean,
it very
there's rumors
visible.
that Global Force is going to be that, so it's going to be interesting. I don't think Ring of Honor will.
I
ever
don't.
Like,
I'll wait to
I would
see
be
until
shocked
Global.
because the television. They're owned by a television network, but then again, the television network kind of turned it down. Like Ring of Honor asked for more money, and this is from online reports. Ring of Honor asked for more money, and they're like, "No, you're not getting more money. Who gives a
That's
shit?"
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Also, have you
but
heard about the
I
Samoa
actually-
Joe thing?
Yeah, he returned.
No, did you hear the other thing? Like, Samoa Joe
What's the
apparently
other
is
thing? You
only
can't be
accepting
so
booking
vague.
dates. He's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
accepting booking dates up to a certain date. That date is, according to all the rumors, he's only taking booking dates up to a certain date. Do you know what that date actually is?
My birthday.
It's the next NXT filming.
Ah.
He's
So,
taking
yeah.
booking gigs all the way up until that date. There's a really good chance he might end up in NXT.
Well, there's a lot of rumors about that.
Samoa Joe against
I know.
Steve.
I know Triple H. From what I read, Triple H wants Samoa Joe there, and Vince McMahon doesn't. So they're going to offer him an NXT deal.
And there's also a lot of people are saying that Samoa Joe has basically shut the door on WWE, all because of CM Punk's tweet. Because CM Punk said something like, "I'll get you later, pal." Like,
Yeah.
But that's honestly, Smarks need to understand CM Punk is trolling you all the time. He knows what
I
he's
don't
doing.
think he's
He
trolling
loves it.
fans as much as he's trolling
Vince.
WWE.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think I think if Vince wasn't trolling him, he would just drop it. But when Vince is putting up pictures of his ass on WWE.com, he's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bust his balls. I'm gonna bust his balls.
You also have to like a little bit that, from what people say, Vince and CM Punk actually talked a lot backstage. Like, he had Vince's number to talk to him late at night because they were both insomniacs and shit. So you got to think, these are two guys who probably got along decently well, but
Yeah,
through
but a lot of times
stubbornness,
best
now they
friends-
hate each other.
Yeah. You gotta imagine. Because, sometimes best friends become bitter enemies. It's fucking crazy. Especially if you are so ego-driven. And CM Punk being a wrestler and now a future UFC fighter, he's got to have a giant ego. And Vince...
As a lifetime heel, oh yeah, he's got to have an ego. He's done a character who is all about ego for years and years and years. Like, it's got to bleed through.
Yeah. And
look at Ric Flair. That's proof of the character bleeding through. I don't even think Ric Flair the human exists anymore.
like he just forgot.
I think he's just the nature boy now.
Like you think he's a lot of books,
Hulk Hogan didn't forget.
Like people just wake up and they're like, I don't even know who the fuck I am. Am I the character or am I actually? You know what I mean? I honestly
Yeah.
believe Ric Flair has those moments. Like, he probably wakes up with a fucking hangover. He's like, who is real Ric Flair? Is this me? You know what I
No,
mean?
I don't think he had those moments. I think he wakes up and he doesn't even think about that because wrestler Ric Flair is the real Ric Flair now. He had those
Like,
moments like in the
like
90s.
those moments were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now those thoughts are gone. He's like, woo! He
Yeah,
just wakes up.
He's just wanting to party. He's like 5 foot. That's the other thing. Why is it that Brian's size always comes up as a thing, but yet Ric Flair,
HBK.
one of the most iconic fucking wrestlers, is so tiny? HBK. Ric Flair's like
it's
5 foot
bullshit.
something.
Yeah.
He's tiny.
Well, here's the thing. HBK wouldn't be hired in today's WWE, and I know that's going to get me a lot of heel heat. And that's why, like, if I ever got to talk to Triple H, I'd be like, well, would HBK be able to work in today's WWE? And he'd be, it's full of shit. It's full of shit. You're going back to the land of giants. Vince McMahon would not want HBK to be a part of it. He doesn't kiss ass.
No. HBK would be on par with Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler.
No, I think it would be worse. Because Daniel Bryan at least kisses that ass when he has to. Shawn Michaels would be cut. Shawn Michaels.
But see, I don't think
Michaels
Michaels' ego would have got that way though. If the situation were different, he got that way because he knew he could have walked at any time.
Yeah. I mean, you have options. You don't have to suck that dick like Daniel Bryan is in the middle of the ring.
That's why all that is why I'm optimistic though. We have ROH, we have Lucha, we have NXT. Like if you're just a US wrestling guy, those are three good promotions you can watch. Which, like Dave and I were talking on air, and we wanted to wait and talk off on air about it because I haven't watched any Lucha Underground, so I was wondering, like, for me as a fan to get into it, like, how they measured up against WWE. And the breakdown he basically said was WWE, the main product, is probably about 90% sports entertainment and a little bit of progress.
Yeah.
Whereas ROH is on the flip side of that, with ROH is like 80% wrestling and like 20% progress. And then you've got
sports entertainment,
yeah. And then NXT, you've got it's like 60%.
I'd say 60% wrestling.
Yeah,
40%
so it's like
entertainment.
60-40, with 40% of the entertainment, and then you have Lucha, which he feels is perfect balance. So
yeah, I think
you gotta look at that, and that's just really good. Like NXT and Lucha both can help you segue toward liking ROH if you're looking to get off the WWE main product. Go to those two. They've still got story-driven content, but they've got more exciting matches. And then if you really like the way the matches go, if you just like the exciting matches, start trying ROH out because that's all.
Well, and I just hope more people check out alternatives because right now is a really exciting time where the race for second place is a lot more exciting than anything WWE is doing.
Oh my god, it's so amazing! Like it's so neck and neck.
Yeah. All right, we got two more questions, then we'll wrap this bad boy up. We got some live comments. Esteban Funutes, I totally slaughtered your name. Good show, you guys are the best. Thank you. Yeah, this is not one of our more popular shows. This is Stump the Idiot, where we just lay back and answer some questions.
Yeah.
You walk from Endor, Dave and Rob. Hi, dudes, loving this show. I appreciate the live comments.
What's up, you walk? I'm sorry I let you down at
Oh, did you hear Rey Mysterio got cut just in time for free agencies?
Yeah, did you also know that Lucha has announced a big press conference or something like that, but at their next promotion?
Hopefully Rey Mysterio. I just
Oh,
like to see Rey Mysterio have one last.
I just want to see him again. He gave so much to wrestling fans. He gave Lucha to America. Without Rey Mysterio, I never would have known Lucha existed.
And not only that, but like a lot of people like know him from his WWE days, and
WCW Rey Mysterio was
he's a shell.
Good.
He's shell of himself.
Made me love wrestling.
Yeah, go check out ECW, check out his early Lucha stuff, and even check out his early WCW stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Rey Mysterio that's world famous isn't as good, nowhere near as young Rey Mysterio.
Isn't that the same to be said of anyone that ends up in the WWE? The WWE version isn't anywhere near as good as the other versions.
But also, like, he has wear and tear.
Wrestling-wise.
Like, yeah, well, that's true, but also there's also a lot of wear and tear there. I just wish WWE sent someone off with some fucking dignity and respect. You know, wouldn't that be nice? But
This is the thing that pisses me off about it. There's no they really fucked up with Rey Mysterio for a couple of reasons. The biggest one, in my opinion, was they should have given Rey Mysterio one last good storyline push run into him retiring and becoming a trainer at NXT, because you need a guy at NXT teaching people not how to perform the lucha moves. You need to be teaching all your up and coming wrestlers how to sell lucha moves and how to do lucha, like receive lucha moves, so that you can have style matchups. WWE has all these great different styles in there that they don't use because they just make everyone do the WWE style with a few moves from that other style. And if they just and then they have John Cena do a Hurricane Rana, because who knows why? Why does he do a lucha move?
Why would I see him do the Hurricane Rana? Does it just seem like right before he does it, he tells someone, "Hold my beer"?
It's so bad. But like
my whole thing is like,
why did they do that? Like,
his Hurricane Rana is good if you got a bunch of drunk people together and said, "Let's try this today." Like, that'd be like, "Wow, Bill, good job." But like,
do you know what makes Cena's Hurricane Rana so terrible, though? It's not even Cena's Hurricane Rana. It's the fact that you can watch Luke Harper do it again later, and Luke Harper's taller than him.
Yeah. All right, let's get these last two questions out of the way and wrap this bad boy up. Lennox Wooderson asks, would Daniel Bryan have enough of an impact on New Japan's expansion to justify him leaving WWE? Rob, I'll let you go first.
I don't think so. I think, if anything, Daniel Bryan's promo on Monday and how much he's put over Roman Reigns has shown he is a company man now. He's not leaving WWE, short of them really fucking him over. And I don't know if that's because his wife also works for him or not.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll leave. I don't think he'll leave. I think if he did leave right now, like if he left right after Rumble, would have been the hugest impact. But if he were able to like just go and leave right now, would have a decent impact. But by the time he's actually able to leave and work anywhere else, it's not going to do anything. And even if he went now, not enough of his American fan base is going to translate over to the Japanese product.
Yeah.
Whereas if he left for like Lucha or ROH, they would get a better boon, I think, than New Japan. But like I said, he can't leave to wrestle for either of those until his contract ends. So by the time his contract ends, it's not going to do anything. Not like it would now.
I think he's just locked down. He's a company man now. He's married.
He
doesn't really have
like 50 years old, dude. Or 40-something. He's getting up there in years. He's had a long career, and people don't realize that.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. But if it did happen, I don't know. I think you'd have to get that TV deal, and you'd have to pop in right away, and you have to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has to be an immediate presence.
I honestly think it would help New Japan, but New Japan would have to have the balls to get a television deal then. New Japan would have to, they'd really have to step up their game. The only
way it works, I think, is it has to be like the Click leaving and showing up on WCW. It has to be quick. Like, it has to feel like there was no time difference.
I know that, but Daniel Bryan went in the ring and blew Roman Reigns.
He did,
he
twice.
He obviously doesn't give a shit.
No.
You know what I mean? He's just collecting the payday, and he deserves it. He had one hell of a career. You have a family. Chill the fuck out. Blow Roman Reigns for a couple bucks, and then call it a career. But yeah, would it be good? Yeah, it would. It would get eyeballs onto it. But I honestly think Daniel Bryan leaving to New Japan hurts WWE more than it helps New Japan.
You know what they could actually do, though, that would be smart of WWE, and I don't think they'd ever do it because of that? They should have Daniel Bryan leave WWE and go to NXT.
Yeah, but...
They would never do it, but could you imagine if they started a brand
I don't think they would do it for multiple reasons. I think the main reason they would do it is...
Vince's ego?
No, Vince's ego, but on top of Vince's ego, how much everyone would joke. Because, like, there's already reports, the Bellas and others are like, no, I want to go to NXT, I want to be to NXT. Do you know how much internal talk there would be of, wow, Daniel Bryan finally made it to NXT. Oh, wow, he made it to the big leagues. Dude, the ball busting in the back alone, they would stay away from that. Not including the online community. Of course, they don't care about. Yeah. But,
We believe you. That's why Triple H made that whole speech back in early this year, the one where he was talking about his friend Mark.
But here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. If you don't care about, like, here is an example. Ballerinas. I don't give a shit about ballerinas either way. But I don't host Ballerina AM. I don't host every 5 seconds, be like, ballerina guys, get it? So, yeah, go fuck yourself. When you don't care about it, you just don't bring it up. You don't bring it up in storylines. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't bring it up in conference meetings. You don't, like, but, yeah. And Robert Coffey said,
you don't get upset when...
Yeah.
I was going to say, you don't get upset when Brock Lesnar says he wants to go watch a UFC show.
Yeah.
They're not a competitor.
Yeah. So, Robert Kofi says, boom, got you live. This has made my day. I really need to get a life. Don't worry, me and Rob, but we're not exactly living the life either. No, but yeah, it's cool. Appreciate you, Robert Kofi. Ewok says, Rob, you let one of your top turkey maniacs down. My heart is crying on the inside.
In my defense, I've told Dave the reason. I feel like I had a really good reason.
Go ahead. I wish we could. Right now, I wish we could have copyright music.
I'll tell you the reason right now.
Go.
I found out really shitty news that a relative had an inoperable tumor behind their eye the day before Fastlane.
Oh, I thought you were talking about pig. No. He's talking about Rey Mysterio
shit into it. Oh.
I thought
it heartbreaks me, but no, I thought he was talking about me ditching them at Fastlane. But yeah, no, the WWE product was so bad at Fastlane, and my morale was already so low that I told Dave, I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm done.
Yeah. But I have to admit, you're the first co-host that just fucking said, you know what? Like, you were in the room, we're like, ready to go live, and you're like, I'm done.
I was in. Just so you guys know, I was in there. We were going on air, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. For you broke Fred Ellie's heart. But no, he's talking about Rey Mysterio. Why did you draft Rey Mysterio?
Because I believe. Hold on, wait a second. Because I have such great foresight that I saw past all of this. I just picked up a guy who's going to be hot as fuck in Lucha Underground, which we're trying to add to the fantasy wrestling. Did I really just accidentally make a pick that was so advanced that I outsmarted everyone and myself?
Okay, you're not going to tell the truth, so I'll tell the truth. His real excuse was he was high when making the list. I was going to make a better pick than Rey Mysterio, but then I got high.
Dude, I didn't even remember I put Rey Mysterio on my list. Like, I'm like, wait, what do you mean I got Eric Rowan and Rey Mysterio?
He was high up on the list.
I know.
He was like at the bottom of your list.
So was Eric Rowan.
All right, let's break it down.
And then know my list.
The best part is you were like, "This is fucking rigged," and then I show you the list, and you're like, "What the fuck was I thinking?"
Oh no, because remember when I tuned in, I was jumping into it, and I thought my first pick was Eric Rowan, and my second pick was Rey Mysterio, and I'm just like, "Fuck, what is this?"
Yeah, you really fucked up. All right, let's.
I got Daniel Bryan though, so
let's go with he's a point getter. No,
I don't want to jump to Roman.
You know what sucks about being sarcastic about Roman Reigns? Is that, like, it's hard to turn it off. So, like, even when you're sincere, you still have the Roman Reigns sarcasm. Like, yeah, he's a point getter. I'm like, no, that sounds sarcastic. No, I'm serious. He's going to get you a lot of points. And now the weapon was a prize pick. No one fucking knew he was returning anything. All right, last question. It's a bit of a fun question here. If you've got some live questions, get them in quick, because this is our last one that we have saved in the box. Lennox Wooderson asks, Ronda Rousey, misses 14 seconds, Charlotte, or Sexy Star? Who is the best role model, and who would you push, fire, and bury? All right, so I guess in this question, we're imagining Ronda Rousey is going to be in pro wrestling. She does have, she does want to be a pro wrestler one day, so I imagine we're at that point. All right, best role model, without a doubt, Ronda Rousey. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, just she's breaking glass ceilings, judo. Just she is, like a lot of people
She's
want to
probably
be.
the biggest name in the UFC right now in terms of just active talk about her.
Yeah. So without a doubt, the biggest, best role model, Ronda Rousey. She's just groundbreaking, amazing fighter. I can't put Ronda Rousey over enough. If you're going off character, just in wrestling, because Ronda Rousey has so many accomplishments in her life. I think Sexy Star is a really good role model as far as a character goes. I don't let my daughter watch pro wrestling. That's not fair. I don't let my daughter watch American pro wrestling because all the women are whores. Like even the characters, like think about the most respectable woman character on WWE, and then imagine you have a teenage daughter. Would you want her to be like that?
She's pining after John Cena, kissing his opponents to upset him.
Yeah. So, Sexy Star is actually one of the few female wrestlers I'll let my teenage daughter watch from America. And I think the story and the promo packages they have for Sexy Star are beyond amazing.
You're making me excited to watch Lucha Underground now.
And Charlotte, it's still early. It's still early. Wait till WWE gets her claws in it, and we'll decide how good of a role model she is. And how much of a role model is she? She's
Ric Flair's character with tits. She's not a role model.
Yeah, and not only, but even though I think she's the Kurt Angle of women's wrestling, and what I mean by that is someone that grasps it and gets it so quickly, at the same time, that door was open because of who her father was.
Mm-hmm.
So how could you be a role model? I want to be like Charlotte when I grow up. Is your dad Ric Flair? No. Well, fucking you better find another role model, So, character-wise on television, Sexy Star is amazing. Rousey, it's not even close. Now, who pushed Fire Berry?
I already got mine if you want to think.
All right, yeah, go ahead, because I love all three of these women.
All right, there's no good choice here that it's like easy choice, but I feel like the easiest choice is on who to fire, and it's Ronda Rousey. I'm sorry, if we're assuming that I'm running a wrestling promotion, I'm going to take the two women that are around the same age that have wrestled that whole time over the one who's that age and is just coming into wrestling. Charlotte and Sexy Star will just put on better matches more consistently. And then when it comes to the push and the bury, if I have to bury someone, it would be Sexy Star, and I would push Charlotte purely because Charlotte's so young and is grasping things so quickly. It just feels like she's just gonna rise like a meteor if someone doesn't fuck her up.
Yeah, Rousey though would be I think she would get eyeballs on the screen, but I think that would be short term.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she, I could see 8 months.
She would be like Ken Shamrock's return back.
Well, we also don't know her work rate, so it's a bit of a mystery. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I just don't like. It's just such a gamble. Like fuck, we don't even know what she could do in the UFC if a match goes past 2, 5, 3, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
She's like the Baron Corbin of fucking UFC.
Yeah.
Like Bull Dempsey's gonna come out and push her in the next match and be like, "Boo."
This is a really hard question. It's a fun question, but it's kind of hard.
How would you book Bull Dempsey against Ronda Rousey?
Shut the fuck up. You know what? I'd book her the same way I'd book any opponent for Bull Dempsey. Break his fucking arm, legit. Just, all right. Push Charlotte. Bury Sexy Star in a storyline. But see, I don't know. Is that bury like in a storyline where she? I don't know. This is hard.
I think it means like bury her as a talent.
Can I tap
I think
out?
It means treat her like Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's what sucks, man. Like there's no easy choice.
All right. Yeah, you have no easy choice. All right, I went
with logical.
I'm gonna push Charlotte just because she's in WWE, has the family name. I'm gonna fire. I'm picturing if I'm WWE. Well, let's just say that I'm wearing a WWE hat. All right, here we go. Push Fire Berry. I push Charlotte.
Oh, you have a WWE hat?
Well, that's what I'm imagining. No, I imagine because, like, you know, if your own company is an MMA, there's a lot of questions
if
here.
you have a WWE hat, then you know it's fire sexy star because they already rejected her at NXT because she wasn't attractive enough.
That's fucking beyond heartbreaking.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah,
Yeah,
when she
I
tried
did
out at
know it, but
NXT.
I
Yeah.
just don't like to talk about
Yeah,
it.
for those of you who did not know, Sexy Star once auditioned for NXT, and at the end of her audition, they had her remove her mask, and she wasn't kept because it was decided she wasn't attractive enough without the mask. This is a lucha wrestler who should not be without her mask anyways, so the fact WWE even wanted to take her mask away from her in-ring at some point is frustrating and disrespectful to the whole lucha scene. But
All right,
the fact that they
I'm gonna
rejected
do
her
this,
as
and I'm
well,
gonna hit 2 more comments. Hey, Rob, I love you, but we got to wrap this bad boy.
I know. It may be.
All right, here we go. Gun to my head. Push Charlotte. Bury Ronda Rousey for the fact that you still get the eyeballs. And like, look, wrestlers can beat MMA people. And fire Sexy Star because, you know, it's WWE and fucking they're evil human beings. I love you, Sexy Star. LK Wrestling Reviews, by the way, me and LK Wrestling Reviews, we have been, go check out his channel. Like, comment, subscribe on LK Wrestling Reviews. We have been planning to do a Fave 5. Maybe Rob can join us for like the last 10 days. But Rob can tell you, real life and time zones really get in the way. LK Wrestling Reviews this week, we're going to try our hardest to do a Fave 5. Maybe Rob and a couple other guys will get on. But please check out LK Wrestling Reviews. He's a bit of a younger channel, but he's busting in his ass, and he deserves a bigger audience. Not that we have a giant audience, but, you know, he deserves more. So LK Wrestling Reviews, we are working on getting a Fave 5 going. So we have to do that. I want to start bringing back the Fave 5s so that we can bring more YouTubers in and become a community. And plus,
also, don't forget, we haven't said this.
Go ahead.
You haven't said this lately, but you need to point out all the shows that you're going to try and do soon.
Yeah, all of them.
Make a list.
Yeah, I will. Robert Coffey. Dude, there's a lot. I mean, there's just so much I want to cover. And the thing is, we get so long-winded. I don't know. We have to come up with a better strategy. We'll talk about that. For everyone. Just for the channel. Because, like, I want to do more reviews, but then I go and get so beloved in the reviews. Like, this Q&A should have been a half hour. And meanwhile, we're like, we just talked 76 minutes and answered one question, and we went down paths. That's what happens when radio guys get on YouTube. Because radio, you have like 4 hours to fill up. So if you come from a genre where you talk for 4 hours, and then you come to a genre where, like, a media platform where you're like, oh, well, we want 4 or 5 minute videos. Like me, I'm like, 90 minutes. That was a short show. Way to go, guys. And meanwhile, they're like, how the fuck did you talk about it for 90 minutes? I'm like, dude, I used to do 8 hours of radio, 4 in the morning, 4 at night, and on Wednesdays I did another additional. So Wednesdays I was on the air for 10 hours. This is before, you know, concussions and nerve damage took that away from me. But I used to do 8 hours a day, 10 hours on Wednesday. And, you know, if you're talking 8-10 hours a day, then you come on YouTube and they're like, we want 5-minute clips. Dude, that's a hard fucking jump. It's like, what? No, we're going to, you know, me and Rob, you know, you talk a lot too. So me and you, we could just go forever. All right.
Oh, yeah. Without Boom Booms to bring us in, we are uncontrollable.
Yeah. All right. Stump the idiot. Robert Coffey says, where do you see the Seth Rollins story with him going on today's show and your man to be on Raw tonight? I guess he's talking about the comedian. Fuck. He's like, your man. And concussions. I'm like, yeah, that's my homeboy. I can't remember his name.
John Stewart?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to lead nowhere, but it might be. Oh, no.
It's totally going to go nowhere. It's just they're doing it just to get more eyes on the product.
Yeah, and plus Stewart's a big WWE fan, and he's big time popular. So I can't see it a match. I can't see it like Andy Kaufman having a match.
Do you know what I want to see? Because Jon Stewart is a huge mark. We all know Jon Stewart's a huge mark.
Admittedly, yeah, he admits it. He's not high.
Yeah.
He wears those with colors.
Yeah, he is proud of his mark status. I would love to see them, because right now there's an opportunity that if they could get Jon Stewart to do it, this is the first time they have a chance to do something big with a celebrity, in my opinion, in a long, long time, that could be branching
beneficial
out,
to
and
everybody.
they'd be into it. Because we know Jon Stewart's on his way out with The Daily Show. I would have him and Rollins keep doing promos, and then tonight I would have him out there, and I would have him go on there live, do the promo against Rollins, and then I'd have Rollins come out and do a promo to him from the ramp, send in J&J Security to beat up Jon Stewart, and then I'd have Dean Ambrose come down, make the save, and I would have Dean Ambrose get managed by Jon Stewart going into WrestleMania.
It's stupid, but it's WWE stupidity.
It's
By
stupid,
the way,
but it would be entertaining.
that idea was so stupid. We lost a subscriber because I refreshed. I was what? We lost a subscriber.
Well, they can't all be good. I gotta make a bad booking once.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very WWE, and I can see it happening. But not only that, but fuck it. The WrestleMania sucks anyway. At least have someone talk about something.
I don't see it as a serious match. I mean it as like a fun match.
Yeah. Ewok from Endor says, push Sexy Star naked, fire Rousey unless she gets naked, bury Charlotte unless she gets me naked. So wait, so you're gonna push Charlotte if she gets you naked, Ewok? So like Charlotte goes, hey Ewok, take your clothes off, and she's still in clothes. You're giving her the title? That's a weird fetish, Ewok.
Yeah,
I think that's a typo.
Weird. Yeah, he basically is saying that he'll push her if she doesn't get him naked.
Ewok says, "Yay, LK Wrestling, Dave. This would be great." All right, no problem. We're working on it. Dude, it's really the time zones. It's a pain in the ass. Peter Gillen says, "My WrestleMania 31 dream match is that WWE books Roman to win. Lesnar beats his ass, takes the mic to end the show, and says, 'Fuck this company, you virgins.' UFC, April 11th, Poland." I'm with you.
There's no way the mics don't get cut off.
Here's my question.
He's not getting a live mic if he shoots.
I'm like, yeah, Brock, virgins.
Alright, hold on. I have to break down a wall for some of you guys. I am sorry to tell you guys this, but if they didn't want CM Punk to say all the things he said in the pipe bomb promo, the mic would have really got cut off a lot sooner.
Well, you must be an insider.
Let's be realistic. And if Brock actually legit beat the shit out of Reigns, there's no way they're giving him a microphone that works.
They did what UFC did to Tito Ortiz. Did you hear about Tito Ortiz's last fight in the UFC? Well, like his second or third last fight in the UFC? Whatever.
No.
Dude, they wouldn't interview Tito Ortiz, and then they told Tito Ortiz that the press conference was in another room.
Wow.
They just security wouldn't let Tito Ortiz in there to grab a mic. And I was just like, man, that's how they're going to treat Brock. Like, yeah, it's conference room C in Nebraska. Brock's going to be like, that's kind of inconvenient. All right. Thank you all for live comments. Thank you for the questions. Any questions after that, we will answer in a future video. We will be doing a Monday Night Raw review later. We are building up the CocoSports.net blog. We are trying to get more and more people on board. Me and Rob are negotiating 3 donuts or 4 donuts for him to help out more. And so check out CocoSports.net. We just plan on keep improving it and keep improving it. And we're hoping to get more and more people like LK Wrestling and American a la carte to join our family. Also, like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back for Raw. Are you going to be back for Raw?
Yeah, I'll do Raw. But I want everyone to understand, I don't want to watch Raw. I'm doing this for you guys.
That's a shoot. That's a shoot. Someone cut off his mic. Could you imagine if Coco Sports came? Like, I remember watching a YouTuber, a really popular YouTuber, and he had a guest on, and they went to commercial. Like, they were like, what do you think about the storyline? And the guest goes, oh, it's a pretty shitty fucking storyline. And they went to a commercial with no commercials on a YouTube podcast.
Nice.
And then they got back, and the guest was like, I don't want to talk about that.
Nice.
My whole thing is, people take YouTube a little too seriously.
I just want to say I look forward to Like, think about how good Brock's shoot interview is going to be after he leaves WWE.
I don't think he gives you shit. Like, I just picture Brock living on a fucking farm and be like, yeah,
I have fucking money. Fuck you guys. Like, I don't picture.
You think he doesn't give a shit. You. Dana White, however, Dana White will have him do it. That's money. That's more. Yeah. That's a chance for him to steal WWE fans
like
to watch.
CM Punk. Because like, Dana White is sending CM Punk around, and like everyone's asking him WWE stuff, and he's like, I don't want to talk about it, and they're like, well, what do you want to talk about? And he's like, I don't fucking know. Dana White's sending me out on this shit. That's what he'd do with Brock Lesnar.
Wait, does he actually tell him I don't know?
What's that? Oh yeah, there's some awkward moments with CM Punk. Like there's a Canadian interview who he acts all tough and shit. I don't know what his name is. I just call him Plastic Joe because it looks like a G.I. Joe guy that melted. And like, just imagine your most awkward uncle who tells jokes and laughs, or imagine a podcaster such as myself that will tell a joke and laugh at his own joke, but he looks like a Ken Barbie doll melted. This is what the Canadian guy does, and he interviewed him, and he's trying to be all tough with CM Punk, and CM Punk's like, dude, what the fuck do you want me to talk about? You know what I mean? It's just awkwardness, but, they're trying to get that best bang for buck for the CM Punk, So,
I have a question for you.
All right, go ahead.
So I saw something. I read something in a discussion that I was curious about. Like, I didn't watch wrestling then, so I don't know how accurate. But I will say that that the thing that I'm speaking of was what brought me back to WWE, was because someone showed it to me about 2 months before WrestleMania, and that got me starting watching stuff on other people. And that was CM Punk's pipe bomb promo.
Yeah, it was really good.
Do you feel like that was a boom moment, like an explosion moment for wrestling that they missed? That, like, if they had actually acted on it, that CM Punk would have been iconic, like Hogan, Rock.
Well, the problem is, the problem is the WWE has a monopoly, and they want to make money using their guys, and there's gonna be a lot opening up. There's a merchandise guy who's running his mouth now. And he's like, no, the game is rigged. And I told you the game is rigged. But, me saying the game is rigged, people are like, you're just a YouTuber. An actual WWE employee blowing the whistle that the game is rigged? It's just, there's like tons of things that
I did read from, I think it came from The Observer, from Meltzer originally, but I was reading it somewhere, and it was basically the guy someone had laid out the numbers for him on how the numbers ran, and it was essentially
they rigged it where Cena would be the top seller.
Yeah, but I know the number. I've seen like how they rigged it, and it's
and I love it. Conan's talking about it on MLW. If you go to MLW's podcast, Conan from Lucha Underground is talking about it, and I hope
maybe
the guy
that was where I heard it.
Yeah,
maybe that was where I heard it.
But yeah, it's not been that this Christmas, the number one best-selling shirt was Dean Ambrose. If it was John Cena, you would get a Did You Know? You didn't get a Did You Know? The WrestleMania 24, they talked about. I went to WrestleMania 24, and they talked about how at WrestleMania 24.
Wait, do you think that's why they buried
merchandise? But now, without a doubt, it's why they buried him. And same thing, when CM Punk became number one in selling merchandise, they turned him heel, and heels sell less. The game is fucking rigged, and if this, I pray to Funk.
Let me just tell the people listening so that they understand how it was rigged. This is what it is. CM Punk had one T-shirt design, so what they did was they gave John Cena 3 new T-shirt designs and didn't give CM Punk one. So right there, CM Punk has one thing available, John Cena has 3. And then the next thing they did was say they sent one jersey for one of those CM Punk shirts. They would send for every one CM Punk shirt, they would send 3 John Cena shirts of each design. So for 10 shirts out there were 9 shirts of John Cena's with a total of 3 designs available across the 9 and 1 CM Punk shirt. So CM Punk was doing those merchandise numbers with 10% of the shirts that fucking John Cena had, according to what that guy laid out.
And I hope he comes through and throws a whistle blow. But the game is fucking rigged, and it's just sad how rigged the game really is, And it's just
so bad. It's so much worse than I think anyone really thought it was rigged. Like, we all knew that he was only going to put... I didn't think that he would throw money away like that, though.
Oh yeah, because
Like, that's
you don't
just
have he doesn't have
like,
legit competition, and
well, the thing
because the thing is, he's an
is, if
old
that
guy
comes
that has
out, what does that do
monopoly.
to Stump?
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. All right, let's wrap this bad
Like,
boy
as a
up.
stockholder, though, in WWE, like, there's no way they're going to be happy if that guy comes out with real numbers that prove it.
Fucking,
Like, there's no way you don't want Vince out of the company immediately.
yeah. Why ain't they taking the title from Lesnar? Ewok asks. Probably because they fucking look forward to suing. They're like, they're probably like, we can make more money suing Brock Lesnar than we can putting Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Well, let's put it this way: they knew he was leaving at this time, anyways, and they waited, and they still gave him the streak, had him be the guy who finally broke John Cena, had him, and now they had him take the belt, and now they have him main eventing WrestleMania against Goldberg too. But like, think about it. They knew his contract was going to come up now, and they still did all that. There's no logic or reason to it. He's an idiot. He sat down with the idea. This is the idea that he sat down with. I'm gonna build this guy up to be super, super strong. And because this is, like, Dave, you as a promoter or booker, isn't it a typical thing to build up a monster heel to have put the baby face over, and then you just have the monster heel keep crushing people and he's still over as fuck? Right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's the one strategy of going about it.
So I feel like that's what he's going for, is to have Reigns beat Lesnar, and Reigns would be super strong. And his plan, I legitimately feel like his plan would have worked if Reigns hadn't got injured. But Reigns' time off.
I don't think they know how to push. I don't think they know how to push a babyface anymore. I think in this generation they don't know how, because their idea of babyface is just give him everything. And
that's true.
With Dusty Rhodes saying hard times, no offense, but you ever notice John Cena fans? You're just like, wow, they're very uneducated. I mean, for real, go look at a grown man who's a John Cena fan. You just assume they're fucking retarded. And the reason why is because anyone that reads books, wants to be entertained, enjoys a story, wants to see their hero overcome. John Cena and Roman Reigns fans are the type of assholes who play Madden on easy, even when they're winning 255-0. And it's just, majority of people don't find that fun. They want a challenge in life.
Why do you think they didn't take the title off him?
I think they're just stubborn. And they're just like, well, fuck it. We fucked it up. We fucked up last year's WrestleMania. We fucked up this year's WrestleMania. Let's just fucking get past it. I honestly think me as a pro wrestling fan, I'm like, holy shit, let's just get past WrestleMania. This is going to be fucking horrible. Let's just get past it. And that's me as a fan who does a podcast every day, okay? I imagine there are people inside that company that think like I do times 50.
This is what I would...
They're just like, dude, let's just get past WrestleMania. This fucking sucks.
They could save this. What I would do is if Vince... No, they could. This is what I would do. I would take Lesnar's appearance from the Go Home show on Raw. Or not the Go Home show on Raw. He's supposed to come back. He's scheduled for the show after Raw. What is that called?
Rob, can you hold your own for next, like, 3 minutes? Because I got to go do something. All right.
Yeah, I can. So, anyways... So what they have is Lesnar's supposed to have an appearance scheduled right after WrestleMania, for whatever reason, whatever. So what I would personally do is if Vince decided, okay, I was wrong, Reigns shouldn't go over Lesnar at WrestleMania, this is a bad idea, and it was before the Go Home show for Mania, my personal abort would be I would have Roman go out to the ring on the Go Home show of Raw and call out Lesnar in the main event and just be like, why wait? And fans are going to expect it's going to just be, a pull-apart brawl, the typical, look, they just really want to fight, wait until the pay-per-view to see him thing. So you go into it, you have Reigns calling out Lesnar, telling him that he wants Lesnar now, why wait? And at first you have Heyman come out and stand on the ramp and just sit there and just talk to him. And I would have Heyman just sit there and just start tearing apart Reigns, telling him that if that he doesn't realize how bad it's gonna get, and that he needs to just take the time he has and enjoy it because he doesn't have much time left. And I want Reigns to say something smartass and have Lesnar's music kick in late. I want to actually have Lesnar walk out before the music even starts and actually push past Heyman and start just storming down to the ring as his music kicks in when he's about mid-ramp to sort of give that feel like this is unexpected. He just burst through the screen, burst out on his own. We didn't expect this. And I want him to just go straight into the ring and just grab the mic from Reigns and just say, do it. I want the match now. And demand the match then. They ring the bell. Have him and Reigns do their match as the main event on the go-home show of Raw. Have Lesnar beat Reigns. Fine, let him make Reigns look a little strong, whatever. But have him beat Reigns, and then have Rollins try and cash in on Lesnar at the end of it. When Rollins goes to cash in, have Lesnar actually stop the cash in and just beat the shit out of him, and take the briefcase with him and walk out. Fans are going to be like, wait, did he just walk out entirely? Like, what the fuck? And he took Rollins' briefcase. And then WrestleMania, what I do is on the pre-show, I would have Lesnar on the pre-show, which I would show for free, have Lesnar on the pre-show for WrestleMania, come out and basically send Heyman out with him and have Heyman explain Lesnar's tired of having Rollins try and take cheap shots at him. He wants to cash in Rollins' briefcase for a match tonight. Him and Rollins, one-on-one, no one else, them, and they want to settle it for done. And the briefcase is considered cash. And I want them to push Rollins to do it. And I want them to do, they keep saying it's the reality era. Do reality. Have Triple H push him to go to accept the fight and guarantee, be like, don't worry, we'll protect you. We can't let this guy leave with our belt. And that starts making the belt feel more prestigious, just the fact that they would be protective over it in the storyline. And then you have that main event, have Lesnar and Rollins, which will put on a great fight, and have Rollins go over Lesnar. Because
I'm gonna have to rain on your parade a little bit. Before I rain on your parade, let me give you a compliment from the YouTube here. Ewok said, I love the fantasy booking. Your foresight is unfathomable, and as long as we're adding Lucha Underground to FWL, that was a redunculous pick. And I probably mispronounced some of those words because it's not my everyday vocabulary. The problem is there's too much money into marketing. And that's the big problem there.
But I'm saying the hypothetical of if Vince comes to the realization that proceeding is going to hurt him, and he needs to accept it, he needs to come up with an alternative. I feel like that would be an amazing alternative.
On Twitter, this is our last question, pal. We're really going to go. On Twitter, I want to thank LK Wrestling Reviews at LK Wrestling for liking and tweeting our stuff, and also at Vinny the Samurai. By the way, badass Twitter name. I'm sorry, I tip my hat to you. Says, what do you think about Seth Rollins, Jon Stewart angle? I think it's good for a celebrity appearance, but I just think that's all it is. I think it's a WWE really good placed celebrity appearance. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but they love the interaction celebrities. And the one thing is, I'm not a big fan of celebrity stuffs, and I do like Jon Stewart's show, but I'm not like a diehard Jon Stewart guy. Like, I know he has flaws. But I'm a fan of Jon Stewart. I'm a fan of a lot of these guys. I used to be a news junkie, but I kind of cut back because I was like, wow. Like, this one I cut back. My wife walked in, and I put my screen down like it was porn, and she's like, what are you doing? And I said, I was listening to, a Saudi Arabia fucking politician give a speech on a German station with English subtitles. And she's like, what the fuck does knowing that shit have to do with anything? And I was like, you know what? Fuck news. The more you know. No, for real, like, if we're not going to kill people and we're not going to take the power back, what's the point of watching propaganda? But anyway, I think this got deep. Like, wow, I didn't see that one taking a left-hand turn there. Fucking, but with Jon Stewart, I just think it's a great appearance. I think that's it. It's a good celebrity appearance. I don't like it. I don't really like celebrity appearances, even though I've abused them as a promoter because they do get eyeballs and a different type of audience to your product. But the one thing I do like about this, at least this celebrity, is a legit wrestling fan. And I like when celebrities are legit wrestling fans because to me, people fake the funk. Like Robot Chicken, he faked the funk. He wasn't a fucking wrestling fan. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm a wrestling fan, I'm a nerd. Who the fuck am I standing next to? That's Jerry the King Lawler. Oh, yeah. I fucking know you. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just happy that if you are going to do celebrity stuff, it's good because it makes Seth Rollins look cool, and WWE loves shit like that, and I love pro wrestlers, and at least the celebrity's a pro wrestling fan.
Also,
That's always
I will say there is one very doubtful thing that does make me become really excited a little bit on the inside for WrestleMania, even though I know it's probably never going to happen, and it's the fact that they're pushing in storyline and as far as like WWE pushing things on the fans, they're pushing Reigns really hard. But they've been pushing Rollins for a year, and they have Rollins doing the tours on interviews and shit like that, and they have Rollins doing this big thing actually.
And that's good because he's
Daily
actually
Show.
a wrestler.
Yes, but this is really good because that means that there's the that A, Rollins has the Money in the Bank briefcase, and B, he's high on their list. My guess is the way they talk about the Shield, everyone knows the big thing with Vince is if you stand up to Vince, apparently he respects you. Like Kurt Angle just shooting him, like wrestling shooting to take him down and stuff like that. He respects people who do that. And from everything they say about the Shield was they didn't like an Angle and they'd go back and they'd complain about it. I think Rollins was the guy who was their spokesperson when they did it. And I think that's why Rollins got the push he did after the breakup.
I actually think Dean Ambrose would be getting the push if he didn't make the mistake of selling more merchandise than John Cena.
Yeah.
I think, it's there's got to be a point of him like, fuck, I fucked up. I flew too high to I flew too close to the sun. Ewok from Endor says maybe Jon Stewart wins the Money in the briefcase.
Oh, but that's my hope, though, is that, I hope that they were actually already planning to have Rollins actually be the one. Like, I hope that Brock is going to beat Roman, and Roman's just going to look strong in the match, and then Rollins is going to cash in and win. And
yeah, I think the cash-in would help post-WrestleMania. Like, I think...
Yes. I think you have to chalk this year up as a loss.
Starting the Monday Night Raw, first off, the biggest problem with Roman Reigns is the biggest problem with John Cena. He's given everything. Him winning or losing against Brock, but then losing on the title and the cash-in, that makes him more human, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is you have a fucking heel that everyone loves in ring style as the champion. I think cashing in, like, you'd be going, oh, will Rollins cash in, yes or no? I don't think that's a big enough fucking deal for me to give a shit about WrestleMania.
No, but that it's the future.
Mania with the title, him cashing in, leaving Mania with the title, that gives me hope, and that's something pro wrestling fans need. And that Monday night, I'm excited. I am going into Monday night as Seth Rollins as champion, a lot more excited than Roman Reigns winning.
Because even that, when you think about how many great angles he has for after WrestleMania, it's amazing. Because this is the first thing I do.
You bring back Dean, you got Randy, you got John, you got...
I would go Randy first, because this is what I'd do. I would have Randy and Rollins have their match. I don't care. It doesn't matter who wins, in my opinion, at WrestleMania between them. I don't think it matters. I think the outcome for them, popularity-wise, nothing shifts. I just don't think it does. I would have Ambrose get beaten really bad, and someone else wins that match. But I would make it... Ambrose needs to get kayfabe injured in that match, like taken out, something like that. There needs to be a reason why he didn't go out to stop the cash-in, because it's been such a big thing. And then you need to have Rollins cash in, and I would actually have
Triple H and Authority stop him.
Well, no, that's a good idea too.
All right.
Yeah, I like it. But no, this is why it's exciting. No, let me just wrap this. Please.
We gotta have to go eventually.
Let me wrap this one booking. All right. This is why it's exciting for me. You have Rollins cash in, take the briefcase. Rollins goes to Raw. that at this point, Orton is entitled to a title shot because Orton's still waiting on his rematch. Brian forfeited his. So you have Orton's title. Orton is guaranteed a title shot. They have their match. Orton gets to rematch with him, and then you have Rollins come out and just start tearing promos against Rollins. Ambrose tears him against Rollins, saying that he's pissed because he couldn't stop the cash-in, and he promised he was going to stop the cash-in. But if he can't stop the cash-in, he's going to guarantee that he takes the belt off of him. That somehow, some way, he's going to make sure Rollins doesn't have the belt, even if it's not him. And have him just fuck with every one of Rollins' title matches to try and make Rollins lose until he finally gives him a match.
Yeah, and all that, but also there's so many more options, and I hate to say this, Roman Reigns' career is so much better off him losing the title at Mania than him keeping it going into Monday. So let me tell you something. As a pro wrestling fan that podcasts every day, I am looking forward to for WrestleMania to be over. But if Roman Reigns wins, I'm just going to be like, who gives a shit? It's Raw. Like, you know what I mean? But Seth Rollins wins. It opens up so many options.
It's
so
fire.
Crazy.
You want to see that Lesnar last appearance on that Fallout show.
See, I think it's the opposite. I think it's...
And you want to see Rollins so bad. And you want to see what Ambrose says about it. Like, there's so many people that you want to see react to it. But it's so exciting.
I'm not excited about WrestleMania at all, but let me tell you something. Roman Reigns beats Brock. Brock beats the shit out of him. Seth Rollins cashes in, walks out, champion. I'm actually excited for the Monday Night Raw afterwards.
Yeah, if Rollins walks out champion, it's great.
Yeah, and if Roman Reigns walks out champion, I'm just like, all right, this is a grind.
They're two polar opposite sides.
It's a grind. Yeah. And last comment of the day, anything after this, we'll hit up in the comments or possibly in a future show. Robert Kofi says, Rob, that's some good booking. That's so good. It's the last thing WWE will do.
I know.
It seems that way. And all right, we got one more comment. You guys, you sneaky comments here. And today, Ewok Friendor says, in today's age, they probably won't get naked for me. So they all get angry Ewok fired. Nikki Bella is the champ forever. Sad times.
Because Nikki Bella will.
Oh, fuck yeah, she will for like $20 fucking.
John Cena and Nikki Bella are your champions.
Yeah. You should have heard the rumors about the Bella twins during their FCW days. Yeah.
I wish I had
What's his name? What's his name? Who's the... Tony Atlas. Tony Atlas talks about it in a shoot interview. And some people are like, oh, Tony Atlas is the only one who said that. Everyone said that at FCW. Everyone. Like, they would just be like, oh, the Bellas, they do this, this, and this for you, if you're into that. So, it's got to be weird being John Cena, being the #1 guy, he handed everything, and everyone knows your girl did shit for money.
Yeah, that's got to be weird.
It's got to be awkward. Or do you think he's in such a bubble that he doesn't even know about that?
Well, wait, hold on. Do you actually think they're a couple? Or do you think that's all bullshit?
I don't really
we know the E show is scripted, so...
With that, check out CocoSports.net. Like, comment, subscribe, and... I'm sorry, when we start getting into is Total Diva scripted or not, it's time to end the show. Rob, say goodbye.
Alright, make sure you guys check out my Twitter, which I'm going to try and start using more, but I just cleared it out, so it's totally blank. That's SIDUAKAL. If Dave were an awesome host, he would put that down in the description. But he's not. So SIDUAKAL. And that's Twitter, that's on Facebook, that's on Twitch TV. And I'm going to start trying to get all of that going.
All right, cool deal, cool deal. Remind me when we're off air, because I will not remember. Like, I kind of want to be like, no, it won't be there. But if there's one thing I can guarantee on these 3-4 hour shows, I'll be like, yo, dude, I'll put that down in the doobly-doo. That'll be in the description. It never goes there. You got to call me out on that, because if not, I'm going to fucking forget.
I know, that's why I teach you.
Reigns will walk out the champion at WrestleMania. This is from Ewok. Then I hope for a Rollins cash in on Raw. No. Even if Rollins cash in on Raw, I'm done.
Like, I won't even know that he cashed in on Raw, because I'm only an NXT fan at that point.
Joyce is watching us on Google Plus. I appreciate it, and I think that's officially it. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out CocoSports.net as we are building a staff to improve it every day. It's still pretty damn good. It's shiny. It's got stuff on it, but we want to make it so much better. All right. We'll see you tomorrow after Monday Night Raw. Like, comment, subscribe, CocoSports.net. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Internet Infantry. With that, I am over. Boom, 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 boom.